This is an era I never wished to live through, a time I never prayed to witness. It hurts to open my pantry and see it full. Snacks, cereals, everything my children love. To open the fridge and watch food tumble out, packed to the brim, and then to remember that somewhere a mother in Gaza holds her baby and has nothing to give. No formula, no food, not even enough of herself left to produce milk because she's starving too. I feel it, a guilt that gnaws at the soul. While my kids enjoy strawberries and chocolate bars, other children their age, search for scraps in the rubble, their tiny bodies shriveling in silence, their cries unanswered behind a wall of siege. And yet, if you speak this truth, if you dare to show compassion, some will call you a terrorist sympathizer. They'll say, but the aid is stolen. It's sold on the black market by terrorists. They never ask, if Gaza is 80% rubble, where are the millions to buy food? If families have lost everything, homes, savings, lives, who's buying? Who's hoarding? It's a lie. A carefully crafted story. A propaganda machine that roared to life the moment October 7th passed. Designed to justify genocide, Palestinians were dehumanized overnight. Called animals, and the world let it happen. We were shown images of beheaded babies, raped women, not a single piece of proof. But it didn't matter. They owned the media, they owned the narrative. And when the truth didn't matter, the killing became easier to justify. They said, terrorist tunnels under every school, clinic, church, mosque. So they bombed them all. For the first time in history, it was acceptable to bomb hospitals, to level universities. To starve an entire people, humanitarian workers were labeled terrorists. Even the United Nations became suspect. And when Netanyahu quoted scripture, now go and smite Amalek, destroy all they have, man and woman, infant and suckling. He wasn't reading history. He was reading policy, and America stood by. We sent the bombs, our taxes paid for the fire raining down. Not precision-guided missiles, but the worst kind. 2,000-pound dumb bombs dropped without a care, falling freely onto refugee tents, schools, and playgrounds. And when the flames swallowed children alive, we called it self-defense. I watched my children wake up in the middle of the night, startled, just from thunder. Their eyes wide with fear, until I hold them, whisper, it's just the sky rumbling. But in Gaza, there's no such comfort. The sky doesn't rumble. It screams. Their lullabies are drones. Their midnight prayers are drowned out by bombs. And I think, what kind of world is this? Where I can rush to the dentist at dawn for a toothache, but a child in Gaza has their leg amputated, in a dark room with no anesthesia, no light, no mercy. What kind of balance is that? A world where my child whimpers from the sound of rain while theirs bleeds from the sound of war. And we call this fair? But if you're Arab, this pain is not new. Since 2001, we've grown up watching our children die in Iraq, Lebanon, Syria, Libya, Yemen. One by one, we watch them fall. Countries turn to dust. Futures buried before they began, and behind the smoke, a plan. A vision whispered long before 9/11s. A blueprint drawn by Netanyahu himself. Weaken every Arab nation near Israel. He named them. All of them, and one by one they fell. Iraq shattered, Syria bleeding, Libya torn, Yemen starving. And Israel stood untouched, watching, growing stronger. So I ask, who truly benefited from 9/11s? Who stood in the shadows and watched the fire rise? It wasn't us, it wasn't the people burying their children. This was the beginning of a new kind of war, not fought with armies alone, but with propaganda, with headlines, with lies wrapped in flags. The plan was executed by U.S. soldiers, funded by U.S. tax dollars, while Netanyahu and his circle laughed in comfort, watching America bleed and the Arab world burn. Hatred was planted in American hearts, slowly, surgically, until every Arab became the enemy. That was always the plan, and it worked. Israel, you are not a nation defending itself. You are a genocidal machine. Your army, an army of darkness. I do not doubt for a moment there is no trace of shared humanity. In soldiers who laugh as children starve, in men who post videos mocking the faces of the dying, joking while Gaza's children waste away. What kind of heart finds humor in the hunger of babies? What kind of nation calls itself civilized, while its soldiers rape prisoners, shoot children, bomb shelters, level hospitals and schools? And you speak of being chosen? Do you forget? It was God himself who said you would not have a land of your own, but you've always defied him. Even Christ stood at your walls and wept. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you who killed the prophets and stoned God's messengers. He pleaded for you like a mother gathering her children under wing, but you turned away. You chose violence and you dare claim to be the chosen? No, we, the people of this land, we are the true Semites. We are the ones with roots that run deep. We are the ones whose ancestors planted the olive trees you now burn. So don't speak to us of anti-Semitism. You are not the victim, you are the murderer of Semites. For decades, your crimes were hidden, covered by lies, backed by blank checks, shielded by governments too afraid to speak. But this new generation, we are not afraid. We are the children of truth. We are the voices that won't be silenced, the ones who saw through your mask. And that is what terrifies you most. Your lies are crumbling, your image is collapsing. The world sees you now, and there is no unseeing it. And now we watch a genocide unfold in Gaza, live on our screens, and still, we do nothing. Worse, we watch U.S. Congress members bought and paid for by IPAC go on national television and say it clearly, we should nuke Gaza. There are no innocents. These are the people who represent the face of the United States to the world. These are the same leaders who cry for justice in Ukraine, condemn war crimes in Russia and China, yet stay silent or cheer as bombs fall on hospitals, as babies die from starvation. They forgot who they represent, not Israel, but the people of the United States, the struggling middle class, the underfunded schools, the families drowning in medical debt. But look at their Twitter feeds. It's not about healthcare. It's not about education. It's pure Israeli propaganda. Who would have thought the strongest nation in the world could have its soul sold for a few campaign donations? This is the era we live in, where the oppressor plays the victim and the true Semites are smeared as anti-Semites. But there is hope, because the Gen Z generation can't be bought. They question, they analyze, they see through the lies. And that is why Israel is panicking. No more blank checks. No more silent approval for atrocities. The world is waking up. And once you've seen the truth, you can't unsee it.